Mr. Pich, thank you very much for the opportunity to have this conversation with you during your visit to Skopje. You're visiting the country for the second time this year. Since the beginning of the year, when it was your first visit as a special representative of the United Kingdom for the region, some important things have happened in our country. The French proposal, the adoption of the framework in the Parliament, and also the starting of the screening process for the membership of the European Union. Do you have the feeling that with these events we're closer to achieving our strategic goal, full membership in the European Union?
I think you are, and I think the significance of the Euro-Atlantic journey, and I deliberately say Euro-Atlantic because of course it embraces your important membership of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization as well as the European Union. It is very important for the future security and stability of the country. Because the thing I would add to the list of things that has happened since I was here, of course, is Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine. So in that context, I hope all the people of North Macedonia can see that this solidarity within the European family at a time of difficulty is more important than ever. And so working together with all the various processes of the European Union is going to be more important than ever. And I know it takes a long time, but it's still the right journey. So it's the important message I'm trying to get across is the importance of that family of Europe with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization providing collective security provides a better future than any of the other alternatives.
There's a big obstacle ahead on the way, and that is the adoption of the constitutional amendments, which are prerequisite for opening chapters for Macedonia with the European Union. There is no political consensus between the government and the opposition on this, and it's mathematically impossible to have these amendments in the parliament unless there is elections and there is new arrangement of forces in the parliament in our country. What is your message to the political stakeholders?
Well, parliaments matter. Parliaments matter in democracies. And my message is very simple. At the heart of the process is approval. And so there is a need for debate. Of course there's a need for a debate with all the different points of view offered. But it's very important at this moment in your evolution, at a time of challenge and difficulty, that the debate is conducted in a mature, responsible fashion, and then people make their decision in the interests of the long-term journey for the country, this Euro-Atlantic journey. And that's where I believe the parliamentarians, the people in Parliament, will take the right decisions for the long-term interest of the people of this beautiful country.
Well, despite the need for our country to strongly advocate reforms which are necessary not only for getting closer to the European Union but also for the living standard of the people in Macedonia, still the cover pages in Macedonia are covered with news about provocations. Opening of Bulgarian clubs with disputed historical names, mutual disagreements, some identity, bad words coming from officials from our neighboring country. So it seems that the reforms, at least for now, are overshadowed by the topics from the past and the history. How do you think it is possible to get out of this situation if solving these issues is the key to progress in the European Union?
All countries have history. All countries have arrived at the situation through that history, and history is a guide. It teaches us, shapes us. And my country, the United Kingdom, is no different. I had the privilege of chairing the Imperial War Museum, which is a large group of 5 museums in the United Kingdom, and which is looking at the history of conflict and how it shaped the United Kingdom through war and difficulty. And so, not just as a military man, but in that regard, I think the answer to your question is respect. is treating history as a guide, but treating each other, the people of North Macedonia, with respect, and to make sure the mutual goal is a prosperous future for all citizens, regardless of ethnicity. And that is an important function in a democracy. It needs to fit inside regional cooperation, which is another important goal. But my message, as you asked the question, is to treat history with respect as well as each other with respect.
How does the UK support the reforms in our country, and what do you focus on?
The UK continues to support the North Macedonian people with a number of programs, projects through our embassy, which is an excellent embassy here in Skopje, very well positioned to support the people. And our particular focus is on governance, on the rule of law, on human rights and the protection of minorities. And we will continue with these programs and projects. And we have been with you since your independence, and we will remain with you.
Macedonia, like many other European countries, is facing a serious drawback from the energy and economic crisis. Do you think that the European Union is doing enough to help Macedonia's economy to not suffer that much?
Well, of course, we have just seen the visit of the President of the Commission and the announcements that is contained. The UK commits to working with you on energy security. And of course, in my own country, the United Kingdom, we equally face energy security problems, price increases and difficulties. And the way we tackle that is in a broad mix of capabilities. So that would be my answer, is we need to look at how we increase energy stability, security, longer term prospects for renewables and many other things. And so I don't think it's a single solution. It's about making sure that we continue to work with you in this challenging time. And I would also add, again with a military background, we need to accept that now Russia has weaponized energy in her war on Ukraine, the illegal war against Ukraine, and therefore this should be an absolute priority for governments to focus on energy security.
To what extent do you think the Russian-Ukrainian crisis is a threat not only economically but also in terms of security for the region of the Western Balkans?
Well, my role as a special envoy is precisely to stop that from happening. I am not predicting conflict in this region. I work very hard with the people of the region who do not want conflict. We do not want to return to any of the wars that the region has suffered. And there are still people in your country, there are still people across this region who have experienced war. And nobody who's experienced war wants to go back to war. And so, of course, in the sympathy we show for the Ukrainian people, their journey to fight for their survival, to fight for their freedom, we're reminded that freedom is not free. We're reminded that it is a struggle. And so we should not only show humanitarian care and respect, but show support for Ukrainian people. And my country, the United Kingdom, your country, North Macedonia, continue to show that support. It matters. It matters to Ukrainian people to know they're not alone. But I didn't think at my age I would be sitting in Skopje talking about a war on our continent. And sometimes we need to remind ourselves just how bad this is. And therefore we need to continue to not only work to support our friends in Ukraine, but also set the conditions for peace and not allow talk of conflict to spread.
Thank you very much for being with us this evening.
Thank you.